Good afternoon, friends.
Hello, everyone. Hey, listen, I just walked in the door and I've got to run to the restroom, so I'll be back in just a minute or two.
Good. All right, guys, we're going to let everybody in. It is 12 o'clock on the dot. We'll give you another minute or so to get ready and get with us. So now I'm going to shut up until it's done. And then you talk. Bates, good afternoon, sir.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, wonderful. How are you?
Great.
Good, good. Because then that way people will not bother us. You guys missed a great party last night out in Lombard. Man, that was so freaking cool. That venue, we will be back at they called it Empire Burger, but I call it Epic because it was beautiful out there. It was absolutely fantastic. We will definitely be back out there. Great food, great company. So we had a lot of fun. Friday, remember, guys, Friday we have at Friday morning we've got a Cottage Grove, a brunch and learn for you guys. It is Friday the 13th, but don't be afraid of down payment assistance and grant programs. We're going to teach you a bunch of stuff that you can get out to your communities on Friday. So we're excited about Friday. Lots of in-person opportunities. We had fun at the boat club last Friday night. So we are doing a lot more in-person stuff this month. For those of you guys that are closer to the Skokie office, we will be up at Skokie later next week. I don't have a date yet, but I think my topic's going to be maybe some Wise Agent integrations, talking about that lead routing again that I gave you a little preview of yesterday. Really want to help you automate as much as possible. And Marki is going to be helping you automate next week. She's doing a course for the National Association of Realtors. I'll have it on our office calendar. But what a cool blessing that we have her right under our roof. And some of you are personally, talking to her and coaching with her. So, guys, it's 12:02. Let's go ahead and get started. I wanted to kick it off today with a really cool thing that we had the opportunity last month to do. I was honored to be asked by the governor's office and the state of Illinois Chamber of Commerce. They have a partnership called INTERSECT Illinois. And INTERSECT Illinois, what they do is it's basically an organization with some really heavy hitters that tries to encourage bringing more businesses to Illinois. And so they were the people behind the EV manufacturing company, the electronic vehicle manufacturer. They got Rivian to build their plant in Illinois. They have another EV manufacturer coming. They've done a lot of really cool stuff well beyond just the EV and green space, building and bringing more business enterprise to Illinois. So they reached out to me and they said, would you do a video on why you decided to relocate your business to Illinois? And it happened to be Pride Month. And so they were doing this for Pride Month. We filmed it last month, but they were aware that we are the largest and most productive LGBTQ owned brokerage in Chicagoland, or in Illinois. So I'm proud of that. But I want to show you guys this little cool commercial that came out. There's going to be snippets of it that are on cable television. You're going to see it on social media. You're going to see it all over. But our staff was played a role in this, so we're part of a bigger movement, and I really was excited to show this to you. So we're going to kick off Ask Us Anything today with this.
Hello, everyone. This is Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. Illinois stands proudly as a global commercial and
The state of Illinois is a diverse place. The state is a welcoming state.
Inclusion and acceptance, it's always something that we work towards. This is just a safe place to live.
We want people from all backgrounds to thrive and value human.
I founded Exit Strategy Realty in October of 2009. In the real estate brokerage community, there was not a lot of education and engagement. It was just more sales. We wanted to bring a new element of educating the consumer as to why to buy a home, and then also what you do after in terms of building generational wealth.
Delivers electric service to the 4 million customers in Illinois. I help the company deliver projects to enhance the grid. We run electric vehicles. We are doing work to restore native habitat. We do everything we can to move the environment to a better place than when we found it.
Tandem is a custom software development firm. We work with large enterprise companies and government agencies to automate the core parts of their business. We are part of the larger support network that supplies energy into the startup community here in Chicago. I'm the chief financial officer here at Brokerage. What I do is I make sure that we remain on budget, interacting with the board of trustees, being responsible to the donors that have given money to us. A lot of people have worked here 35, 40, even 50 years. I was coming in with like, let's see how we can do this better and using technology to make sure that we can advance.
We are nobody's darling in the beautiful neighborhood of Andersonville. We definitely wanted to have a bar that certainly was welcoming to our community, to folks who look like us. When you come to our bar, you will see some of everyone from every walk of life that makes up Chicago.
The biggest advantage of doing business in Illinois is I don't have to reach very far for any kind of support that I need.
There's a very enthusiastic support system here in Illinois. They do a great job making sure you have those tools for success in your business.
As someone who's started businesses and still maintains businesses in other states, the ease of doing business in the state of Illinois in terms of licensing and the portals, it's really second to none. The state of Illinois was probably one of our closest partnerships that we work with. They supported us during the pandemic. They provided funds for us to help redo a lot of capital that needed to be done for this aging building.
We work in collaboration with officials at all levels. I love that because I think that our goals are really the same, which is how do we make things better for the people in the state of Illinois? How do we make things cleaner, greener, more affordable, more effective?
But also the opportunities that the state brings in terms of the people, the diversity, the energy, the culture. The companies that we want to work with, partners that we need, are all within arm's reach. They're all right here. I decided to move my business into Illinois because I realized that I was not going to be able to be my authentic self here. It came with this fear of how would I fit in, but knowing that the community itself is such a stalwart and a standard in this city, it makes it easier to grow.
It's important to run it as a good business, but we also knew that we wanted to be a meeting place, right? And we wanted our community to feel comfortable. So we are trying to make sure that we honor, we believe in, making sure that the industry is better and more inclusive.
I've been able to step into the fullest version of myself by seeing other people within the LGBTQ community thrive. It allowed me to see that it was possible to be successful. It was possible to have ownership of property, to have the American dream, which we all talk about.
Disability matters, and it's really for folks coming up that they see somebody who's out, that they see somebody celebrating their identity, celebrating their family.
That opportunity really exists in this magic environment we have in Chicago and the state of Illinois.
Quality of life of being an Illinois resident is off the charts. Oh my God, the city of Chicago is amazing.
It's just the access to so many things. Nature, the parks, the transportation, the entertainment.
Something that you want to to customers in the summer.
Whether it's going to Ravinia, whether it's just accessing the lake.
These little pockets of neighborhoods that have all this amazing culture, and you get something different in every neighborhood. Yeah.
no matter who you are, what you're looking for, there's always an opportunity to have fun, get educated. There's always something to do. That's the reason that we live here.
I mean, Chicago is one of a kind.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that
Good show there. That was good.
Thank you. So we will have that. We're gonna have some assets around that coming out to you guys shortly here in the next couple days. There's a couple more. They did a more one-on-one interview with me as well about why I love Illinois and Chicago and you guys. So it was a really cool experience, and I happy to share it. So guys, this is Ask Us Anything. So Lyle, Dan, my partners in crime, what's going on? You managing brokers to the stars?
Nothing like covering a lot of ground, right?
All good on my end.
Good to hear. Keeping things straight is kind of just what we do, and that way there's no hiccups in the system when things work right. Unfortunately, not every sales transaction looks like that, but running the business has been quite a handful because nothing's normal. I think that's the only thing I want to add is like nothing seems normal. Nothing seems like what we expected. And the way things are going, yeah, we're going to have a change in the industry real soon by the end of the year.
Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, less competition. I don't see a lot of people sticking around for this crap when you think about what we do as a real estate broker or even a managing broker. I don't see this thing working out very well for a lot of ones who were never plugged in, never understood to roll the wheel to make there's a lot of things broken in the system, and I think we're going to see a lot of people get away from it.
NAR is estimating that maybe 25% of the people are going to leave the industry, which is,
There you go. See,
yeah.
That was the number that I read too. I'm like, guys, we're seeing that. We're feeling that, If
and
you're in
I'm on it.
the wrong place, and we're not perfect. We know that. We're trying to always improve and be better. But if you are, I think we're pretty darn good. Some of our competitors, guys, are just doing nothing for their agents. And quite frankly, even some of us as agents are doing nothing. And it's like, why?
That fees go right out on time, though, don't they?
So
Those other brokers.
it's gonna be a tough road. I do not see this market
No.
improving. I don't see the interest rates getting better. I don't see the economy getting better. I don't see the chaos slowing down. I see things actually getting worse. And so we are, that we don't want to be doom and gloom. That's why we want to bring you joy this summer, the boat club and fun stuff. We are aware that it could get getting tougher, which is why what a blessing that we have Zillow Broker Flex coming on to give you guys some extra leads. It's going to be a lot of work for those of you guys that want to participate. It's going to be expense for me. I was doing an onboarding session with them this morning. I actually have another one with them this afternoon at 1. So I'm not going to be able to be on with you guys the whole time if you guys go long today. But we are here as an office brokerage family we're in it to win it. I had a great conversation with the C-suite of Exit Corporate. Erica Gillio, the COO of the company, Tammy Vanell, the co-chair of the company, Craig Witt, the CEO, and I went over the finances, the whole company with them. I'm like, are we good? Because it's that tough of a time, and we are good. This is a safe haven in a storm of mess, but it may get tougher out there, guys. We don't want to be gloom and doom, but it may get tougher. But you are looking at, talk to me, Dan, and Lyle. We are three. I mean, I don't want to put bad words in our mouth, but we're kind of cockroaches. We've been through it all with terrible markets. 2008, 9, and 10. We hope it doesn't get that bad, but man, what a not great time to be a realtor or alive. You know, that we made it through that as a brokerage. Well, Dan was with us, but we weren't together yet as a brokerage family till later into it. Lyle and I were in the industry together. Um, some of you were around. Marki, Zeke, some of our leadership ladder, Shaheen, they were all around. Woo, that was bad.
Now you started like September 2001. Isn't that about the time I met you? Was when the Twin Towers came down? It was during that time period.
I started I started in the industry in 1998, but walked out of Coldwell Banker and opened my Nick Libert Properties, we're still Nick Libert Properties. Nick Libert Properties has been around since 2001. I opened on September 4th of 2001, a week before 9/11.
September 11th. I'm over here on September 11th. The worst day that you could possibly enter real estate, I jumped right in.
Hey, Dan and I have been, you know, the tech boom, tech bust, all that disaster, 9/11. You know, there's always a pivot, there's always a safe space. And, you know, so if anybody that's anxious about what's going on out there in the world, you know, I was on a great call with Marki earlier this morning. You know, we have a lot of things to be blessed about the way that we're stable as an operation. You know, I decided to keep my house last year after thought about selling and getting a mortgage again. I don't owe anything on my house. There's always that safety net of that. You know, we can always hang out here if things get real rough. But it's really we're looking at it going, who are we in business with? If the market gets even worse, you know, how are we doing? And, you know, I'm blessed to have Zeke and Shaheen as partners in terms of, you know, controlling the buildings that we're in on our north and south extensions. And that's, you know, we really feel like if this market goes even further south, there is always the silver lining of opportunity too. So transparently, I'm hoarding cash right now. Not that I'm making millions of dollars, but
It should be transparent. We should be doubling up on our reserve accounts right now so that we're ready for when we have to pull the trigger. And I've been saying it for 2 years.
So my strategy for those of you guys that, you know, again, this is ask us anything, but I'm going to ramble on here a little bit. You know, my strategy is I'm hoarding cash to do exactly what I did in 2009, 10, and 11 was I saved up enough money to buy this condo, but this was the best investment of my life. You know, I got this at the absolute bottom of the market for $0. You could look how much I paid for it. I feel like I don't think the residential market's going to crash, but I believe the commercial market is going to be very, very bad for a couple of years. It's not going to be an opportunity for tax sales or scavenger sales. They're redoing the way, as you guys know, we did the scavenger sale in 2022. Redoing the state law that the scavenger sale may not even exist anymore. It's going to be more, if things go to foreclosure, the banks are going to be taking it back, not Cook County for taxes. So there's some interesting stuff going on with taxes, but there's opportunities in every market. And I guess my bottom line, guys, is you are in the right place at the right time to not take advantage of this market because it's awful, but you're in the right place, a safe space, but also there is a silver lining to everything. And in 2008, 9, and 10, I was starving, but I did get one amazing thing out of it, and that was this house. And a couple other people did the same thing along the way. Some of my clients, their entire retirement was built on what they bought in 2009, 10, and 11. Dan, you were with us when Invitation Homes, you know, picked up their retirement portfolio. You know, there's money to be made in a down market. So we will be exploring all the options to help you guys create opportunities for yourselves. My advice to everyone is be very smart with your money. The next 6
Yep.
do not blow money on stupid stuff. Please don't, you know, please save your money so that A, pay your bills, but B, you may see some opportunities out there. You may see something 12 to 18 months from now that you're like, I want to buy that place. I want something for me, you know? So Zoom just told me, confirm your speaking language. You may have switched to a different language. I think I'm still speaking English. Can everyone hear me clearly?
Sounds like
You're
English to me.
speaking Nick again. Do we have to get the Nick, what was that, the dictionary out again?
Did not just do that. The dictionary, the dictionary came out last night during our... All right, guys, I've talked enough. I don't know if you guys care to hear me sometimes. What do you guys want to do today for Ask Us Anything? What questions do you have? What topics do you want to discuss?
One thing that I have been noticing recently that I'd like to just kind of advise everybody on is, especially when you're doing rentals, you need to, if you're representing the tenant, you need to figure out how you're going to get paid. And I see people not doing that. And then, you know, you may not actually, if you don't have it all worked out beforehand. And I see competing offers coming in with some brokers asking landlords for compensation, some not. So you really got to kind of like tighten things up when it comes to that. The other thing that I'm going to say, and I'm not going to get political, but I am going to say that if you're going to go downtown for the protest this weekend, you need to be really, really careful, because I would not be surprised if what's happening in Los Angeles comes to Chicago.
It's coming to Indianapolis tonight when the Pacers come back. They already have an ICE protest formed down by Cambridge, where the Pacers play. They're already expecting trouble here in Indianapolis.
Yep. And you know what? We are not very popular with Chicago. We are not very popular with the current administration. And I would not be surprised if we had National Guard out by order of the president as well. So just, if you do what you need to do what, follow your heart, but be very, very careful.
Guys, that's really great advice. Actually, that was not the planned topic for me today. I think that's very good advice, because obviously we all have our own views and emotions. I have friends that definitely are going to go downtown and be a part of that movement. I am concerned for my friend's safety. I think that it's going to be a very dangerous weekend. I don't like where this direction is going. I'm not going to get political, but I just want everybody to be safe. And on that note, social media wise, guys, just take a breath before you get going down any of these rabbit holes. I did go a little overboard in my little, Elon Musk and Donald Trump fight stuff. I'm like, you know what? I'm a real estate broker. I don't need to be I'm not in the middle of this fight. Be conscious in your social media that, we're all on all sides of this, kind of just everybody is in a very tough place. So
Right. And you are always governed by the code of ethics, no matter what you're doing, even if it's your personal Facebook page and not your business. You can still get in huge trouble if you are disparaging in a way that violates the code of ethics. So please, please, please remember that. I've seen that over and over in my career as a managing broker.
It will be held against you. You can't beat the internet.
Yeah. And guys, we had an incident. I did not bring it up to you guys formally, but I had some questions about it last night during the happy hour. We have a former agent of ours, and I don't want to say luckily they didn't pay their MLS dues in February, but they didn't pay their MLS dues in February. And in March, Laura terminated this agent without telling me, because she knew I would have probably, wanted to try to save them. They made some comments online on a platform, on a dating platform, that was so inappropriate. People screenshot your stuff, be careful with what you say. You are bound by the code of ethics. And quite frankly, you can have any type of view out there you want. I respect your political views. I think you're all lovely humans. I think you all know who you're working with as your proprietor of the operation, who your leadership team are. We are very diverse and we lead with love. but we don't have any room in this brokerage for hate speech, discrimination. It is very hard to get fired by Nick Lambert Properties Inc. But it's happened, and it will happen. And Lyle and Dan, and soon to be probably Mo, for Wisconsin. These gentlemen, their managing brokers license are on the line, along with our reputation when you do crazy stuff. So, we've had to reel a few people in over even me with some of my stuff out there every once in a while. Feel free to, tag me, tug my hair a little bit if you're seeing something you don't like. If you see something, say something, but just be aware of this. This is a really rough time, and I think people are going to get emotional. And you're going to see some stuff online in the streets that upset you. Think of back to 2020 when we were, I was in the streets. Some of us were protesting. We saw some really crazy, upsetting stuff. So just be respectful of your fellow humans, and feel free to reach out to me if you need to talk. I'm not a licensed therapist by any means, but I've been around the block a little bit. We're all dealing with stuff. I have resources for you if you're going through something. So, yeah, crazy time to be alive, friends. But what a beautiful mastermind of good humans that we are surrounded by. I've had a lot of fun with you guys lately, just being around you guys. So appreciate you. L'Oreal, you have a question, ma'am. This is Ask Us Anything.
I do. And thank you for everything that everyone has said. Going back to the fact that, so many agents are possibly going to be leaving the industry, what are 3 things that we could try to do daily if we did nothing else? I know prospecting is one, but what are 2 other things that we could do so that we can make sure that we're not in the number of the people that are going to be leaving?
What a brilliant question, L'Oreal. That is actually we should be recording this and sending it to the whole. Well, we are recording this session, but and obviously I'd love to hear other people's thoughts on this. But as your coach, your productivity coach, let me tell you a few things. Reach out to your people. I'm going to share my screen. Go to your Google Calendar, and every morning, Monday through Friday, I have a habit for you. It's called 8x8. I swear by this. I have lived by this. I have made never less than a 6-figure income in commissions in the worst of markets, and despite my worst of own habits, using this formula. 8x8. To reach out to your people, love on your database. If you need more people in your database, make sure that you are on our e-teams. What are our e-teams, guys? It is realtor.com, aka OpCity. I'm going to go into my OpCity screen here in a second. OpCity, Prime Street, and also coming soon, most of you guys have already responded to that email, Zillow Broker Flex. If you need to eat more, that's where you go. And do not be afraid to, let's stop my screen share for a second because I'm going to log in using my password. I don't want you to see it. I want to talk to you a little bit more about online e-team leads, but do not be afraid to reach out and have a coaching session with me where I can talk to you about, strategies for saving money, strategies for cutting expenses. I've been there, done that. If you need a side hustle, drive Uber, do something that is safe and legal as a side hustle, but your real estate license, protect that license. It will get better. This is, a downward market. Trust me, there's an upswing afterwards. I ate real good in 2013, 14, 15, 16, well, all the way through the pandemic, all the way up until about 2023 when the interest rates went, we ate real good for a decade. Right, Lyle and Dan? I mean, I feel like I thrived post that Great Recession.
Absolutely.
And
Guys, I have to
one of my best years
Go
in
ahead,
20.
I have to hop off because I have another committee meeting starting, but Another thing that I'm going to advise you is keep in touch with all of your realtor friends and all the people that you've done deals with as well. Because if they decide to leave the business, they might send you referrals. So, that's your network too. It's not just your past clients. It's not just your friends. It's not just your family. It's the people that you've been working with for years who may just decide to leave the business right now or put their licenses in a holding company and they can send you referrals. So don't discount your industry partners either.
And what a good Lyle. What a good tip.
Nice reading.
That's my little bit of gold today. I've got to go, guys. It was great to see you. I'll see you next week. Call me if you need me, okay?
Get you, Lyle.
Talk to you soon.
What is that? That is a great. I'm like that. I completely forgot about that one. And let me give you.
I haven't.
And I want. Let me give you a bonus tip. Stay in touch with your realtor friends for another reason. Our competitors are going to start doing stupid, weird stuff, aka charging more fees, closing down, shutting down lead systems, shutting down tools. What a great time to have Exit Realty residuals. I ate. Sometimes my gas bill would be paid. Sometimes my light bill would be paid by Exit Realty residuals. When I say I'm a cockroach, part of the reason why I was able to survive 2008, 9, and 10 was the blessing of the residuals of this company. That is why I'm ride or die for this company, probably till the wheel, as Laura Medina says, till the wheels fall off. This company saved me. So please save yourselves and save your futures. Not to be dramatic, talk to realtors. Come join us. Residuals are magic. Some of you guys are actually getting them and using the formula. It ain't hard. Let me tell you guys, don't sell them on exit. Just get them into a conversation with me. I will do the work for you. It's a great place. It's a great time to be here. All right. That was my comment, my addition. Dan, what about you?
I think if you're not seeing down the road a couple of blocks, you're going to miss a whole lot of business. The market is changing, and we're going to have to make some adjustments in not just how we roll the daily wheel as far as our workload is concerned, but it was like I was talking to Sonia just yesterday. If you're not working your daily, if you're not rolling the daily wheel, you're not going to be rolling in it. And it's just a matter of consistency and just sticking with it and knowing what direction is going to provide you the best amount of business. Do it right. Just do it right.
Amen to that.
It's Wayne Gretzky season. Be where the puck is going to be, not where the puck is. And that's why if you haven't taken any short sale training or distressed property trainings, now would be the time because you can feel that the market has shifted in that direction. Just be aware, be ready, then execute.
All right, guys, what else? I'm going to have to jump off here in a second, too.
Hey, I got one more. What about like properties that might just kind of be lingering on the market? We're getting showings and stuff like that, but properties are just lingering a little bit too long.
I have I have a video for that. You know what? Price is going to be your biggest thing. And there are price reductions coming everywhere. That's why we are a little bit, I don't want to say at the edge of a cliff. We are seeing a noticeable number of price reductions. This should, we're seeing a noticeable number of price reductions. You need to adjust with the market. The market's kind of taking a breath. The interest rates went up, not down. So things have gotten more expensive. People are starting to take a breath and going, I can't afford this. So unfortunately, my biggest answer to you is you need a price reduction.
What was the feedback on why the price is staying high with the seller?
So for me, we recently did do a price reduction and the showings have increased, But, just given this new information, now I kind of feel more of a sense of urgency and want to go ahead and get it done. So if there was any kind of last minute tricks you guys could pull out of the bag, I just kind of asked the question. But as Nick recommended, I did a price reduction recently, and we have had a showing every single day since that has happened. And, hopefully something pops sooner than later.
Aside from
Okay.
Price point, condition, or location are your three biggest objections on why things sit on the market, or a combination of all three. If it's not priced right, you're not going to get the attention. Plain and simple. And some people out here in Indiana, and I'll speak from my experience, if you price a home too high, they're going to remember you did that. You tried to get into their pocket and you didn't deserve to be in there. And they're not going to come back even after 3 price reductions because they already don't trust you. So it's a matter of building rapport along the way. I would always, first thing I do is go right to my reverse prospecting and get the emails and phone calls out. I don't care if there's 200 of them. My next day is going to be busy because I have people who know people who would buy this house if they even knew that it was out there.
Thank you.
No problem. Do you know how to do the reverse prospecting?
I did it fairly early on, but I do need to do it again since we did that price drop. I probably did that
Every
around
price
the 2-week mark, and we are slowly, I want to say we're approaching the 50-day mark.
Guys, I'm
But I'll
going
do it again.
to drop in the chat a video for you that is free. Last time when the market started getting stale, it's called "What If My Property Hasn't Sold? Strategies for This Market." So go ahead and check that video out, please. You can also go to my YouTube channel, but it's buried deep in 8,000 videos. So there's the direct link. Do go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you guys have not already. So you will find some additional help, hopefully there.
And click the little bell so you never miss a video.
Subscribe now.
Podcasting too long, my friend.
Oh, God, you guys crack me up. Love it. All right, guys. What else? Before I bounce.
I think it's just important to remember that it's the sellers and the buyers who are making the decisions and presenting it as such. If you have a situation inside a transaction, well, my buyer won't do that, or my buyer told me is the better answer than no. It has to be something from the source of the person you represent. I think that's going to keep us out of a lot of trouble, is to remember that it is about the buyer and seller desires and what they want. And in most cases, it's best to have those things in writing, even if it's just a text. But yeah, just be careful of the current environment and be prepared for it.
All right, guys. We're going to wrap for today. We sincerely appreciate you. We will see you on Friday live and in person if you're coming to Cottage Grove. We look forward to seeing you there. If you got more stuff you need, guess what? Not the balance of this week. It looks like my calendar is pretty full. Next week, I got a wide open calendar. Book me up. Get a one-on-one with me. I would love to talk with you and catch up, and let's build some business in this crazy market. Appreciate you guys. Have a great afternoon.